In today's video, I'm gonna talk about one of the most important things that are preventing you from moving forward in your life. That thing is the fear of being seen. That is one of the fears that many people have. Very few are aware that they have it, and very few understand where it's coming from and what does it mean. Being afraid of being seen, for me, was the number one problem that prevented me from advancing faster in my life, and now I have become aware of it and I'm working on it. Now, if you're in the same situation as me, and if historically you are afraid to be seen, you are afraid to post on social media or post on YouTube or holding presentations in front of people or speaking when there's a large number of people around you. That's basically that fear of being seen, right? So, fear of being seen, if we go one layer back, it's fear of being rejected. Like, you're not afraid of being seen, you are afraid of being seen and rejected. So not the visibility part, the being seen part is the issue, but the issue is that if they see you, if people see you, then you will be rejected. You fear that you'll be rejected. So that rejection comes from three major avenues. Avenue number one is that you have a conditional love issue. You potentially have a conditional love issue where you received love as a child and going into your growing up, you received love because you behaved in a certain way, right? You did not express maybe some of the things you wanted to express. You rather suppressed them because doing so, that was the condition for you to be loved. So you being seen in your authentic self and coming up with your unique perspective, you are afraid that love that you received conditionally might not longer be given. So that's conditional love. The second, our nervous system is hundreds of thousands of years old. Back in the day, if you were rejected by your tribe, it would have meant survival, right? So if you go and present your ideas in front of your community or in front of a group of people and they reject your ideas, your nervous system might think it's gonna trigger survival mode. You might think that they banish you from the tribe and you might not be able to survive. So it's a defense mechanism. If they see me and if they reject me, then they might banish me from the tribe. So that's gonna be a survival issue. And number three, sometimes we hold in our mind a perception of ourselves or like an idea of ourselves of who we are, and we want to protect that. Our ego wants to protect that because if we think we are smart, we are the smartest in a certain domain, and then if we go and test that with the public, speaking in front of the public about this idea, that idea might get rejected or people might disagree with our idea and that will collapse our identity perception because we thought we're the smartest or we're expert in domain X or Y, so it's gonna be an identity issue. And many people have those three combined, right? The conditional love, the tribal survival, and the identity perception of themselves. Yeah. So the fear of rejection in all those three areas basically mean they come from the core one of I'm not enough. Speaking from my personal experience, for me, fear of being seen and fear of rejection was the biggest blocker for my growth as a human being, honestly and transparently. When I was as a child, I was not talking as much. When we had guests in the house, I was just not speaking or even hiding. Going to school and college and at work, I was the one who was not talking as much. People refer to me as like soft-spoken or doesn't talk as much, but I had things to say. I had a lot of things to say, but I was afraid that if I would say them, people will reject me. People will reject my ideas and they will just like not like me anymore or not be friends with me anymore. Because my friendship or my was conditional towards if I'm just the good guy, right? That's one of my core masks. One of my core ones is also the conditional love thing, right? If I don't do that, I'm not receiving love. Plus the tribal thing was also an issue. Like I feel sometimes in my community, if I express myself fully, people might not agree with me, so then I want to be part of a good part of my community. But that, when I was a manager at one of the biggest tech companies in the world, that prevented me to continue to grow as a leader, because as a leader you need visibility, you need to talk in front of you need to express your ideas, you need to have strong opinions and be able to communicate those opinions, because people and your entire department relies on you to have that perspective. And then now as an entrepreneur, being able to go in front of people, talk about my business, talk about the problems that I solve with my business, go on social media, go on YouTube, put myself out there, put my opinions out there, express myself authentically so people can see me. Actually, that was one of my biggest blockers of growth. Now, actually, I'm working on it, and I actually realized that rejection is not, it's divine redirect. So if you express yourself authentically, and there are certain people that will not like you because of your expression, because of your opinions, that means that those people are not your people, and you just move forward with your life. But I needed to have that reframe to understand that if I speak publicly, if I express myself authentically, it's not a problem. Not everyone is gonna like me. There's some people who will like me, and there's some people who will not like me. But if you find yourself in the same position, either being working for a company and want to advance to the next level, or being an entrepreneur and wanting to advance to the next level, know that not the next marketing strategy or the next technology or the next tool, that's not gonna advance you. That's not gonna move your business forward or your career forward. The number one thing that you need to work on is fear of being seen, fear of being rejected, and what that means to you and how you reframe that inside yourself, right? Once you unlock free expression, you're not afraid of being seen. Actually, you like it. You want people to see more of you. You want to express yourself authentically. Then you will see one of the biggest leaps in personal development and in your, because you're willing to be seen and to express yourself authentically, and you spread your message and you talk about your mission and your service and the things that you can do for other people. And that's the most important thing. Internal work and understanding these fears that you have and the ones that are core ones that are underlying is actually the most important work. It's gonna make the difference for you. But at the top of the thing is the fear of being seen, and then the fear of being rejected. For many, not for all. Personally, I know I had that fear, and I'm working through it. And me doing social media, Instagram, YouTube, putting these videos on YouTube, and I want to start doing them very often, and I want to start publicly speaking. I want to speak at conferences and speak on entrepreneurs clubs and circles. That's very important. If you relate to this, just know fear of being seen is one of the biggest issues that stops you from advancing to the next level. Let me know if you disagree or if you have a different opinion. Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.